So I've got my bank here and I'm able to start planning some attachments. So you should have a decent amount of clay left and you can work with this. What I'm going to suggest doing is thinking about some different ways that you can make attachments. So if you're going to attach something, you can work with what's called a basic form. Now basic forms include things like spheres or squares. You can kind of tap the edge here to add squares, or cubes rather. So you can add cubes, basic cubes, or you can add things like cylinders, or you can even add what we call a slab, which I'm using just the palm of my hand to flatten this area out. Let's say I wanted to make an oval eye. I would come over to my tools and I could grab a toothpick and I could kind of trace a shape and then go in and just cut some of that extra clay off. Now if you don't want to get this on your table and wipe it up, you can always work on top of a wear board. So I'm going to set this wear board down. Now let's say I wanted to create an attachment here. Maybe this will be a leg on the side. Maybe I'll put this on the side like that. And maybe I want to add a small head at the top. So I'm going to create a sphere. The general rule of thumb, and it really is just that, a rule of thumb, is that you don't want the clay to be thicker than your thumb. So in this situation, the clay may be wider, and that's okay, but it's not thicker than my thumb. It's actually about the width of my pinky, which is good. If we have something like a sphere that we want to add, we want to make sure that we hollow it out. So you may come back to the pinch pot. So I'll turn that sphere kind of into a pinch pot. Now I've decided that I want to add the head to the top of my sculpture. So whenever I go to attach this, I want to make sure my clay body is the same as my attachment. So typically you'd want to let them set up, you'd let them sit out to be leather hard. That will be the perfect stage for them to attach. If you want to attach in the plastic stage, you can, but understand that it may end up getting slightly deformed. So I want to attach a head just on the top of my form here, so I kind of have a body and a head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down and I am going to draw, just with my toothpick, a rough outline of where that's going to be. Now if I put this on here, there's going to be a big air pocket in there. That air pocket's going to be in there, and then whenever it goes into the kiln, it's going to go kaboom. It's going to blow off. So what I need to do is I need to think about where the center of this is, looking at the width here, and kind of plan out an area. And I'm actually going to cut out some of this clay. So I'm going to go in with my toothpick and just kind of carve around this. One thing you can do is this could be a great area for you to use your paper clip. And you can come in and kind of start pulling some of this clay out. But we want to have a hole down into the center so that the air can flow in and out. So we don't want to attach anything that's thicker than our thumb without hollowing it out and creating a hollow attachment. Now you should know from an earlier demo, I'm going to add that clay back to my other, that we always want to scratch and attach. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to scratch my area here, and you're going to be smoothing a lot of this out. Remember the hatching, really rough it up, both pieces that you're going to be working on. And then I'm going to add some slip by adding water to that surface. And right now we're just kind of doing the rough sculpture. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just getting things attached. So you're starting with your basic forms, making sure they're not thicker than your thumb, and then scratching and attaching. So adding my Velcro-y type texture. I'm just going to squeeze that together. Now what you want to do is you want to smooth out these transitions, and you can use your finger, but I also like to use some of my tools. And this is where a popsicle stick will come in handy because you can really get in those cracks and smooth those out. Anywhere, and you can notice I'm just kind of pulling from the big area into the other. It does not have to look perfect at this moment. Don't let that discourage you. Right now, your whole goal is just to attach it. You're always going to be able to carve away. Got extra clay, just pull it off. Slide it over. And just go down. So I'm attaching it. And really I want to be able to move that around and not see it moving. So I'm just adding kind of a head shape here. I'm going to attach this. So this will be my head, this will be my big body. I'll add some arms and details on the side for my piggy bank. So I've added that, I've smoothed it. I'm going to go through, I'm going to add my other attachments, and then what you're going to be able to do is come in and plan your money slot and the location for your cork.